This lesson, we will learn how to find the slope of a line. Slope usually is represented by the alphabet M. It's a measurement of a steepness of a line. And it can be calculated by finding the ratio of the rise to the run between 2 points that are on the line. So, for example, if a point A, 3, 2, then we say 3 is the x value of the first point, 2 will be the y value of the first point. That's what we call the x1 and y1. So, slope can be found by two different ways. One is called graphically, by putting the points on the graph and calculate the rise over run. Or we can find the slope using algebra. And we can use this formula here. M equals to rise over run, which is delta y over delta x. Delta means the difference between the y values, which means y2 minus y1, over delta x means the difference between the x values, which is x2 minus x1. Let's look at this example. Determine the slope of a line segment between the points E and F. So if we are going to do it graphically, the first thing is you have to put those 2 points on the graph. So negative 5 is the x value, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right here. And go up by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is your point E. Negative 5 and 6. Next one, we have to put F on, 4 and 1. Since it says it's a line segment, so we connect those 2 points, do not extend it because this is only a line segment. So now we have a line segment EF. So if I want to find slope of line segment EF, that means my first point, I'm starting from point E, and I go into point F. Say this blue line is on construction. You cannot go on it. That means I have to go a different routing. So I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units down. And then I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll say 9 units to the right. Whenever you are going down, it's negative. Going up is positive. Going right is positive. Going left is negative. So we know the slope is rise over the run, which is negative 5 over positive 9. Negative positive will become negative 5 over 9. Or I can do a different way now. I'm going to use a green one now. Okay, so I would say I want to find the slope of line segment EF. I can write FE. That means I'm starting from point F and I go into point E. Same thing. You want to find the slope, you have to do rise over run. But if I go from F to E, then I have to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 units up. So now my rise becomes positive 5. How about my run? Because now I have to go to the left by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 units left. That means negative 9. So I'm going to have positive negatives, negative 5 over 9. As you can see, it doesn't really matter which point do you start and which point do you end. You will have the same slope because we're talking about the same line. Slope of a line will be the same. It doesn't really matter which 2 points you pick on the line. As long as you go from one point to another point, then your answer will be the same. Next one, we're going to do it algebraically. So if I want to find slope of EF, then my starting point will be E. So my first point will be negative 5 and 6. That's point E. And my second point will be F, which is 4 and 1. So let's find the slope. I want to find the difference in the y values. So I want you to look at the point here. From 6 to 1, you actually subtract 5, right? So that means we say the rise is negative 5. So mathematically, we do 1 minus 6. That's how you get the rise is negative 5. Then let's look at the run. The run is the x values. From negative 5 to 4, you actually need to move 9 units to the right. So mathematically, we do 4 minus negative 5, which means 4 plus 5. Then you will have the answer negative 5 over positive 9, which means negative 5 over 9. So it does not matter whether or not you do it graphically or algebraically, you will still have the same answer. However, when the points becomes very complicated or very big, that's when we would prefer algebraically. So the answer will be exact and accurate because sometimes it's very hard to graph on the graph paper. Okay, let's look at the next example. I want to find the slope of a line segment between G and H. Once again, the first thing is we try to do it graphically. We put the points on the graph, negative 5 and negative 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the x values and go down by 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's where my point G is. And then let's put on H. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where my H is. And then you make a line segment. And that's find the slope. So this time I decided to go from G to H. So it's a slope of GH. So same thing again. You cannot go on the blue line. So I have to make a right triangle, which we call the rate triangle. The triangle helps us to find the rate. So G to H, let's make a right triangle, which is also called the rate triangle. So as you can see here, from G to H, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 units to the right. And then we have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 units up. So we know the 12 is our right, and then we know the 9 is wrong. So it's going to be 12 over 9, which can be reduced 4 over 3. Okay, let's try a different way. We're going to find slope of HG. That means coming from H and I go to G. Same thing again. Now I have to go this direction, which we call the negative. So negative 9 because you're going to the left. And you have to go down by 12 units. So then this time you have negative 12 divided by negative 9. Negative become positive 12 over 9. And 12 over 9 can be reduced, which is 4 over 3. And let's do this calculation again, but this time we're going to do it algebraically. So if we do it algebraically, you have to decide which point is your first point. So I'm going to say my G is going to be the first point, negative 5 and negative 6. H is 4 and 6. Let's use a formula. Slope equals to, it's always the difference between the y and difference between the x. So the negative sign is actually from the formula. And that's filling all the values. My y2 is 6. My y1 is negative 6. My x2 is 4. My x1 is negative 5. And then we do negative become positive. So 6 plus 6. And the other one is 4 plus 5. Which we're going to get 12 over 9 can be reduced to 4 over 3. So as you can see, once again, graphically, algebraically, they all have the same answer because we're talking about the slope of the same line segment, which it doesn't really matter which method you use, you should have the same answer. Now, this example will be very special. Let's take a look. So there's a point K, 3, 6. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your point K. And there is a L, 3 and negative 2. If I draw a line segment right here, now this time I cannot make any right triangles because from K to L, they did not go to the right, they did not go to the left. So now that means this. If I do slope of K to L, my rise will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I go down by negative 8, right? So negative 8 units down. However, I do not go to the left, I do not go to the right. That means the wrong is going to be 0. And anything divided by 0 is undefined. The reason is we have no idea how to divide it. For example, $8 shared by nobody. And your question will be like, how do you share them? Because there's no one to be shared. So that's undefined. So now let's do it algebraically now. So K will be my first point, 3 and 6. L will be my second point, 3 and -2. Using the slope formula, y2, which is -2, minus y1, which is 6. x2, 3 minus x1 is also 3. Once again, this negative sign, okay, the red one is from the formula, the difference between the y and difference between the x. As you can see from here, it's -a over 0, which is undefined. So that means whenever the slope is undefined, we know we have a vertical line. This is also another special one. So let's take a look. Point M, 2 and 4. There's another point, -3 and 4. M and N. And we draw a line segment. This time, you still cannot make a triangle because there's no other triangles to make. So let's look at this. Slope of MN. From N to N. I moved 5 units to the left. So that's -5. That's my wrong. However, I do not go up. I do not go down. So since I didn't go up, I didn't go down. The rise is 0. And 0 divided by 5 will be 0. Let's do it algebraically. My first point, 2, 4, which is that M. My second point, N, which is -3 and 4. So let's calculate the slope. y2, which is 4, y1 is 4, x is -3, x1 is 2. You get 0 over -5 is also 0. So whenever you see slope equal to 0, means this is a horizontal line. So once again, vertical line, slope is undefined. Whenever it's horizontal line, slope is going to be 0.